Hey guys, so you've probably seen the movie The Interview and know that North Korea is a despotic dictatorship run by a leader who is so holy he doesn't even poop.
I heard he doesn't pee or poo.
He works so hard, he burns the energy from inside.
The country has sprawling labor camps, an oppressed and impoverished populace whose entire families will be punished if they defect. But surprisingly, the country is now developing a budding tourism industry. You may remember Inside North Korea by Vice back in 2011, a three-part film in which journalist Shane Smith goes on vacation to North Korea. Treading very carefully, he films the trip but is constantly in fear of being arrested and often gets told to stop filming.
Right after we launched VBS, people started saying, North Korea, why don't you go to North Korea? Why? Because nobody knows anything about North Korea. So we were fascinated by it, and we tried to get in for a year and a half, but couldn't, because North Korea doesn't let anyone in. They do not want anyone to corrupt their 100% homogenous society that is 100% ruled by one person, Kim Jong-un.
Fast forward 5 years, and things seem to have eased up a lot. And with advancements in the quality of consumer video cameras, we are now getting to see North Korea in crystal clear high definition. YouTuber Louis Cole over the last few days has been posting high-quality video of his trip to North Korea, partly in Pyongyang and partly surfing the North Korean coast, or trying to surf. There really weren't many waves. His vlog makes North Korea look not quite as bad as you may have thought, and modernizing tremendously.
They built this in less than a year, all of these skyscrapers. Check these out. Wow. So our hotel has over 1,000 rooms. It's 43 floors high. We're staying on the 35th floor. And apparently there's a swimming pool, a bowling alley, ping pong and massage here.
But is it real, or is it just all a show put on to impress tourists?
Oh, wow! It's a grocery store. Looks like the Whole Foods around the corner from my place.
Yep, guess no one's hungry here after all.
Fake carrots! Fake fruit! Fake!
It is known that the North Korean regime has employed actors to impersonate regular citizens.
Look at that fat kid!
We have many fat children in North Korea. The supreme leader believes it is a hallmark of prosperity and self-sufficiency.
Regularly takes tourists to pre-arranged locations that can be easily controlled, even goes to great lengths to fake the appearance of prosperity, as Shane Smith found out in 2011.
It's not very busy here. You realize they've gotten so much bad press for not having food that they want to show, oh, there's plenty of food. Food everywhere. And they're carefully laying out the food the whole time you're eating, and then as you're leaving, you notice they're pulling all the things they've just carefully laid into little tiny trays that they're carefully going to bring back and keep for the next day.
But the sheer amount of things that Louis Cole shot makes me think that there has been some economic progress in North Korea.
Guys, look at this view. We're just over the river.
Yet what he is being shown is definitely carefully chosen by his guides. For example, the water park he visits couldn't have been built and then filled with North Korean actors just to impress foreign tourists. However, these places are definitely only frequented by the richest of the rich, probably families of government or military officials. North Korea's 1%. So how did North Korea get the money to build these things? Well, when you consider that between 5,000 and 6,000 Western tourists per year are willing to pay prices more associated with a trip to Europe than a third world dictatorship, about $2,000 for a 7-night tour, you start to see how this income could add up. And those figures don't even include tourists from Asia, who bring the total number of annual visitors to around 100,000. You see, many people are curious about visiting the so-called Hermit Kingdom, a place filled with mystery and Cold War-era communist nostalgia. Kim Jong-un's regime are certainly aware of how lucrative this foreign interest in North Korea could be. Last year, he announced plans to increase annual tourist numbers to 1 million by 2017 and 2 million by 2020. The country recently completed the construction of a $35 million ski resort at Masik Pass. The resort has 9 runs, which is cute when you compare it to some of the resorts in Europe, but it's a start. However, the resort so far has only been attracting a few hundred visitors a day, tourists and North Korea's 1%. The harsh reality is that most people in North Korea live in dire poverty and fear of the regime, and probably never see any benefit from the development of the country's tourist industry, which only concentrates on the development of specific sites that carefully managed tour groups can visit. And this brings me to my final point. Is it ethical to visit North Korea as a tourist? Jean H. Lee, writing for Brookings, said this: "Critics say foreigners who visit impoverished North Korea at prices comparable to travel to Switzerland are funneling hard currency to a regime that diverts the money to the elite, the military, and to propaganda, while millions of North Koreans who go hungry every day do not benefit." Lee also points out the opposing view, which is that foreigners visiting North Korea promotes cross-cultural learning and allows North Koreans to learn about the world outside their borders, a point certainly demonstrated in Louis Cole's vlog.
Do you know who Justin Bieber is?
Bieber?
Do you know who he is?
I don't know. Who is it?
We are in... Wow, this is awesome. Don't worry about it. But that's awesome. We are out in it. Amazing.
Louis certainly thinks the cultural exchange is worth it. I feel in some parts of the videos he is a little naive about how much of the reality of North Korea he is seeing, but then again, he is a travel vlogger. He's not an investigative journalist like the team that Vice sent to North Korea in 2011. I'd encourage you guys to check out his series on North Korea. It's really very fascinating. I had a great time watching the videos, and I'll put the links in the description to this video so you guys can all check it out. My feeling is that it seems there's been some economic development for North Korea's elite, but life is probably still very hard, possibly even getting worse for the average citizen. You get a little taste of it when Louis and his friends go to the coast and stay in villas with no running water. If this is what's being shown to tourists, then I'm sure the average North Korean lives in conditions 10 times worse. So what do you guys think? Should people visit North Korea? Are tourists funding a dictatorship by going there? Are the people tourists meet average citizens or people brought out for show by the government? And can an increase in tourist numbers really change the country for the better? I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you've been to North Korea yourself. So please comment below. If you're new, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time with another dose of crazy stuff that you'll find only in Asia.